Once my husband told me about this man. He rights our wrongs, and the bounty hunters sure do tremble when he appears. His name is Silence, because wherever he goes, the silence of death is sure to follow. Greetings, fellow cinephiles, and welcome to the first ever episode of Matt Hates Everything. Today we're going to be bringing out a classic that just recently celebrated its 50th anniversary release. Today we're going to be looking at the Italian Western classic, the spaghetti Western classic as it were, The Great Silence. Now The Great Silence stars Jean-Louis Trintignant, I do not know how to pronounce his name the right way, and it also stars Klaus Kinski as Loco. The soundtrack for this movie, which is always important, was created by the mastermind himself, Ennio Morricone. Chances are, if you've seen 5 spaghetti westerns in your life, chances are the soundtrack for one of them was done by Mr. Morricone. Okay, now let's take a look at this DVD, or the Blu-ray. Here we go. Here's the Blu-ray. This is The Great Silence. Get a little focus there. Sorry, the glare is so bad. And inside here, a stupid movie card, we have this awesome little book that has a bunch of really wonderful pictures from the movie. There's also some interesting factoids. Oh, I love this picture. I love that. The whores digging graves in the snow. This kind of sums up this movie in a nutshell right here. We have the original Italian vocals, the original English vocals, and we have English and Italian subtitles. There are 2 alternate endings, which I will go into in greater detail later in the video. As a matter of fact, I've been talking to myself and deciding whether or not I was going to do a spoiler review or a non-spoiler review. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to insert a title card towards the end. And everything past that title card will let you know when it shows up, you'll see it. And you know, that's where the spoilers start, because there are a lot of really interesting things that I want to talk about as far as the ending of this film goes. It also includes a brief interview with Brian Cox, the guy who directed Repo Man, and also wrote a novel, I think it's called 1,000 Ways to Die, and it's about spaghetti westerns. He's one of the world's renowned historians and collectors of movies from the genre. Let's see what else it has. It has a documentary called Westerns Italian Style, which came out in 1968. It has a bunch of footage from Great Silence here that did not make the actual film, and a bunch of really cool behind the scenes stuff. You can catch this documentary on YouTube, because that's where I originally saw it years ago. This thing's been around for a long time. Now the movie The Great Silence is about a man named Silence, who happens to be a mute, avenging angel, a righter of wrongs, and he's on his way to Snow Hill, a little small outpost town in the mountains of Utah, in the middle of winter. Now his own motivations are made clear throughout the course of the movie or while he's traveling to there. But once he eventually arrives, he sees that this entire town has been overrun by a group of bounty killers. Bounty killers are similar to like bounty hunters. The only difference is when they see a wanted poster that says wanted, dead or alive on it, it really should say wanted, dead. Now when Silence arrives in Snow Hill, he is met by a woman whose husband was murdered by one of these bounty killers. There are a group of outlaws who are waiting for an amnesty to come down from the governor, who are barely squeaking by up in the hills. Now, after watching this movie, it never becomes clear to me if they were unjustly accused, but the outlaws who are up in the hill are played in a very sympathetic light. Silence meets a young lady who asks him for his services to right these wrongs, and throughout the course of the events of the movie, he finally comes on board and decides to help her out. Now, I don't want to spoil the ending for anybody who hasn't seen this movie, because the ending is completely shocking. This is not what you expect to see the ending in your prototypical Italian Western, or even your prototypical American Western, your mind is going to be blown by the ending of this feature. If you're into this kind of stuff, I do have a couple recommendations for you. The first recommendation is Sergio Corbucci's ultimate classic, Django. As far as I'm concerned, The Great Silence, as great as it is, it's his second best movie. And his first best, of course, is Django. Also, one of my personal favorite bad movies, I don't really know how to describe it, is called Vamos a Matar Compañeros. Or in English, it's just Compañeros. It stars Thomas Milian, Franco Nero, the guy from Django, and Jack Palance in a Western that's set during the Mexican Civil War. And it is just an absolute blast to watch. Now, as far as recommendations go, there's a little bit of subtext I would like to get into. Chances are, if you're into Marvel superhero movies, like if one of the Avengers movies or Deadpool is your favorite movie of all time, chances are this film is not for you. That doesn't mean you shouldn't watch it, but chances are you're probably not going to love it. If you're going to the movies this weekend to see the new Kevin Hart romantic comedy, chances are this movie is definitely not for you. However, if you do love stuff like High Plains Drifter or Japanese samurai movies or any of Klaus Kinski's horror work, you are going to absolutely love this. Run out, get a copy, find it somewhere to watch it today. And now for the rating. I'm going to use a scale of 1 to 5 because I think 10, there's too much room there. It should either be bad, really bad, good, really good, and great. I'm going to give The Great Silence 4 stars out of 5. The only reason that it's not getting that 5th star is because I just can't give the first movie or I review 5 star. That's kind of cheating. So we're going to throw that title card up, and this is where the spoilers start. All right, everybody, we're on full-on spoiler territory from here point out. So this is your last time to end the video. Okay? You still here? All right. So, oh my God. So Silence goes down for the final confrontation with Loco, and Loco's like, go get him. I want to fight him. And he comes and shows up, and all of his buddies shoot him from outside and kill him in the middle of the snow? What the hell? This doesn't happen in these movies. This is brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. If you've stayed this far and seen the end and seen this movie before, drop a like, drop a comment down below, and let me know what your favorite part is in The Great Silence. And in the immortal words of my favorite YouTuber of all time, Captain Sexy Pants, a peace.